From the Classic 107 studios in downtown Winnipeg, 107 Live for Birchwood Jaguar, the art of performance.
The Montenegrin Guitar Duo are regularly invited to perform at prestigious international recitals in unaccompanied chamber and orchestral settings. Acclaimed by critics and audiences alike, Goran Krivokapic and Danijel Cerović are in Winnipeg to perform as part of the Winnipeg Classical Guitar Society's International Artists Series. Ahead of that performance, tomorrow night, they've joined me in the Classic 107 studio for your next installment of Birchwood Jaguar 107 Live. Live in the Winnipeg's Classic 107 studio, you just heard the Montenegrin Guitar Duo. That was an absolutely beautiful performance. Welcome to Winnipeg. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
Well, it's such a pleasure to have you both here. I want to begin by asking, which composer was that?
It was a French composer, Antoine de Loyer. He was a French guitar player and composer from the early Romantic period from Clermont in France.
It's absolutely gorgeous writing, and one of those that I kind of want to hear more of. It's such a beautiful sound.
Yes, it's not as widely known still. I think not as much as perhaps Fernando Sor or other composers from that period. But it's a beautiful music. I totally agree.
So, first of all, Danijel, you've been here to Winnipeg before. Sorry, Goran, you've been here to Winnipeg before, right?
Yes.
Just last year or 2 years ago?
Last time was just last year. Yeah, that's just about a year ago.
And I have to ask, did it take much convincing to get Danijel to come to leave Montenegro to come here to Winnipeg in February, or?
He was just slightly worried about the temperature, but other than that, it was fine.
Danijel, how's the experience been so far here in Winnipeg?
Well, it's great. I love Canada very much. We've been in Canada for 2 times while recording our CDs with Naxos and also touring. But I've never been to Winnipeg, as Goran said, and you. So it's kind of a very nice place to be. And Goran was right. I was a little bit worried because of the cold, but because I come from Montenegro, it's really very nice weather all the time there, almost all the time. So I think these days are something like 18 degrees Celsius. So it's a huge difference. But anyway, it's not so, it's not so hard. So it's really fine.
It really is a pleasure to have you here. I have to admit, I've been to Montenegro before. I've been to Kotor, actually.
Really?
I have, and it would take a lot of convincing for me to come back to Winnipeg after being there. It's such a beautiful country. You're both such respected solo players. How does it change when you become a guitar duo? Does your playing style change? How do you motivate each other that way as a pair? Maybe to you, Danijel.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to adjust to another member of the duo, but it's also very important to have more to follow or to have more or less the same ideas upon the music. If it comes to Baroque music, for example, then you should share more or less the same ideas about the articulation, about the tempo, about the style in general, because nowadays there are many actually approaches to this music. So I think that's the main idea, and then this more or less the same idea generates the other things. So you adjust a little bit your way of thinking while playing solo, because it's not the same. You don't have such a huge freedom of doing things to change the rhythm or the tempo and stuff, because you have to. In order to get really a perfect combination, you really have to adjust and to practice together, and so it's kind of a big process.
Yeah, and it's a unique process too, right? When you have that second player, you guys have performed, of course, as a pair, but also with chamber and orchestra works. Yeah. You're in Winnipeg to perform with the Winnipeg Classical Guitar Society. I was wondering if you could speak a little bit to tomorrow's program. What's on deck?
Tomorrow we will perform pieces by Bach, one of the English suites.
2 of the English suites.
Two of the English suites we arranged for 2 guitars. Then some pieces by Manuel de Falla, some of the dances, and Piazzola will be on the program also. A tango suite, originally for 2 guitars, and. I think that's more or less it.
Wonderful. You mentioned the Bach.
Yes.
And the Bach for 2 guitars, the English suites,
yes,
which were transcribed, arranged by you, correct?
That's right. Yes.
What was that process like? What inspired you to take the English suites and arrange them for 2 guitars? I mean, that's really marvelous.
It was it was something which it was. A music which we both liked very much for very long, and Bach was anyway one of our favorite composers, and we as kids we used to both to have this vinyl recording of Ivo Pogorelic, who is a great pianist and also had a great fame in the former Yugoslavia. So I think many people had these recordings, and this was, I think, our first touch, so to say, with this music. And then later on we discovered also the other suites.
The whole set. No.
And
6.
because there are 6, and we transcribed. It took about how many years was it?
Well, to transcribe them and perform and adjust from time to time the partitures and to
4 years
record it, maybe
yeah.
almost 4 years or so.
Wow.
And we all also recorded all couple of months.
Oh, wonderful.
So
What was listening to the did you do something that was original for the and then adapted it for your did you find some pros?
For myself and for Goran. There are very lot of arrangements from Bach. So the pieces like trees and lute suites, so-called lute suites. I mean, it's a long. Actually, it would be a long discussion about that. But there are some pieces that are very popular in guitar world, and they are widely performed in concerts and recorded on CDs. And there was also a couple of pieces from the couple of movements from the English suites recorded by Ida Presti and Lagoya duo many years ago, and inspired maybe some people to play a little bit of this music, but actually never in this kind of in the manner that you perform everything, that you try to do everything, because as Goran said, there were actually 2 or 3 suites that were quite popular, the second and the third especially. So people usually try to play the pieces from that suites. I mean the movements from those suites. But then we just actually, Goran came one day and said to me, what should we do? I said, what? I don't know. Maybe the English suites, the whole 6. I said, no man, this is incredible. It's probably impossible. It's incredible. No, he said, yeah, it's really like. I took the partiture and I saw some movements and I think it would be possible, not easy but possible. And then actually we started, and it was an incredible process because we were also reading
a learning process also for us. We learned so many things while just reading the music, of course, and then while transposing or transcribing, also rewriting. It is really amazing process for us, and also for our knowledge of other music written by Bach, which is played on guitar very often.
Definitely, and also music which probably inspired Bach to make this collection, to compose this collection. Some French music, French lute music, and French Baroque music in general, and so all these connections and the whole repertoire around English suites were also quite special to explore, to listen, and to learn. So,
and what an exploration that is. It's something that a Winnipeg audience can be a part of, given that you're going to be performing some of your transcriptions tomorrow. But before you go, would you mind playing one more?
Sure.
Excellent.
Yes.
So while you get set up, I will let those of you listening know that you can see Goran Krivokapic and Danijel Cerović, who make up the Montenegrin Guitar Duo, perform at Precious Blood Church, 8 p.m. tomorrow, Saturday, February 10th, as part of the International Artist Series put on by the Winnipeg Classical Guitar Society. For more information, visit their website, winnipegclassicalguitarsociety.com, or ours, classic107.com.
107 Live is Classic 107's intimate concert series, brought to you by Birchwood Jaguar, the art of performance.